Hey MCE crew, I waited a little late to do this video, so I'm losing the light. Listen, go ahead, like and subscribe. Share these videos. The reason I'm asking you to do this is because the algorithm, the things we talk about on this channel are risque. I'm not an authoritative source, so Google, YouTube does not want to promote these videos. However, we can defeat that if you will help me with defeating the algorithm by liking the video, sharing the video. Go ahead, watch to the end also. That helps. This will be a short one, guys. Look, let's talk about Apple. Now, we talk about paper investments here all the time. Apple is an investment that I own. It's a stock, a company that I own. I want to be clear that I'm not suggesting that you own it just because I do. I might own it for reasons that have nothing to do with why you might want to own it. So do your due diligence. So I'm going to talk about Apple from the standpoint of why I own it. Now, Apple just released this new offering called Apple Pay Later. Brilliant. Brilliant, because we're in an economy that's going to start flagging. And by that, I mean declining for the folks in West Baltimore. Don't get mad. I'm from West Baltimore. It's a joke. But Apple is doing two things here. They're taking advantage of the fact that the economy has seen better days, but they're still going to provide a mechanism by which you can have that Apple product, okay? This is a brilliant move by Apple. I'm not saying that you should use it to get in on the latest Apple product because, as always, even though they're saying there's 0% financing, most people will stop there, not this audience. There is a catch. So let's go into this a little bit and see what Apple has in store. Apple launched a 0% financing scheme back in 2019, but that was limited to iPhone purchases. And you know, Apple, they sell a lot more than the iPhone. Let's see here. And only available to Apple Card users. So that 2019 release was extremely limited. It was later extended to other Apple products, but again, for card holders only. Apple Pay Later is a completely new offering. It offers installment payments for literally any product or service you buy using Apple Pay. Brilliant, okay? The other thing this does is it anchors customers to Apple even further. You know, they have that whole ecosphere where if you got one Apple product, you're probably going to need to have all of them. So the, laptop, you're going to want the iPod, you're going to want the watch, you're going to want the phone, in order to get the benefit of all of the features out of it. Apple Pay Later provides users in the U.S. with a seamless and secure way to split the cost of an Apple Pay purchase into 4 equal payments spread over 6 weeks with 0 interest and no fees of any kind. Now, this is not a new concept. I don't know how much you order offline, but a lot of companies have been offering this buy now, pay later, break it up over, so many payments type of feature. Built into Apple Wallet and designed with users' financial health in mind. Sure, Apple Pay Later makes it easy to view, track, and repay Apple Pay Later payments within the wallet. Now, they're going to make money. How are they making money with this? If you're thinking about investing in a company like Apple, you want to know how they're going to make money with this feature. It's not going to be through the goodness of their heart that they're offering this. With 0% interest and 0% fees, it might seem that Apple won't make any money from the financing arrangement. They're calling it scheme again, but let's use a thesaurus, guys. But Business School Associate Professor Rajat Roy says that this isn't the case, as he explains. Apple is trying to consolidate its foothold in the world of consumer finance. Boom. They go on to say they're going to use that to increase profitability. This is music to an Apple shareholder's ears because it means that Apple is getting into another line of business. Now, finance, it's a tough business, okay? It's not all roses. GE tried it, and, Jeffrey Immelt turned out to be a complete disaster. and they eventually had to sell that financing unit off. But if anybody can make it happen, Apple is very judicious and very quiet about the moves that they make. While the fees are relatively small, they exceed the financing cost of offering credit for such a short period. Roy says that Apple and its financing partner, Goldman Sachs, will also gain valuable spending data. Big data, man. Data is the key to making lots and lots of money these days, because when you have that data, what you can do is you can really kind of predict what your customers or would-be customers are more likely to need and more likely to do. Goes on to say, though, consumers should be cautious. While the deal may seem good for consumers, Roy says that pay later schemes involve two risks. First, potential impact on your credit rating. While Apple only does a soft credit check when you ask to use the service, which doesn't show up as a loan on your credit reports, you can still harm your credit score if you miss a payment. Now, we're getting into this whole thing. Remember they said you would own nothing and be happy? Well, this is one of the ways that that type of mindset, that type of philosophy is coming into play. Because we're going to see more and more of these arrangements where, you might pay for something based on a subscription, more of a subscription model, less of an ownership model. And you gotta say, with something that's not an asset, something that is going to depreciate like a phone or a computer, maybe that's not such a bad idea. Now, there's another buy now, pay later service called Affirm. Let's see. They are saying that they're not worried about Apple's announcement, even though the company's stock dropped 5.5% on the announcement. Affirm's stock dropped. Business Times note that he argues the company may even benefit. They probably will. Affirm and any other company that offers this service will probably benefit, because when there are more players in the market, it proves that there is a market, for one thing. And Apple, thus far, is only offering the service on Apple products. Affirm, they offer it on quite a few products, including Apple. Affirm offers lending plans for 6 weeks to 60 months, compared with Apple's plan to split up Apple Pay purchases over 4 payments across 6 weeks. So Affirm gives you a lot more runway. The Apple service creates a really nice tailwind for us by informing more people about buy now, pay later services. And you know what? I just said that Affirm offers Apple products. I'm not sure about that. I got to check on that. But it does prove that there are more, that there is a market there, because Apple's no, small fry. So that's another service. Apple's also reputed to be coming out, or rumored rather, to be coming out with a car at some point. We shall see. So that's an asset that you may want to take a look at. The other thing, I'll end this by saying Apple may become more of a threat to Affirm if they start to offer that service on products other than Apple products. So that is a possibility. All right, let's get to some challenging news here. Okay, guys, next up, we have a very disturbing statistic. Nearly half of families with kids can no longer afford enough food 5 months after the child tax credit has ended. So all of the stimulus that was put out on the street, it has come to an end. And people are finding it difficult to cope, especially when you take into account that we're at a point where food prices are much higher than they were when the child tax credit payments went into effect. So we're starting to see the effects here in America, okay? And we're starting to see them in other places around the world too. This is a global audience. That's another reason why I want you to like, subscribe, and share wherever you are in the world. We got people from all over the world consuming Money Changes Everything content. That's how I know that it's wanted, and that's how I know that YouTube is suppressing it. So, again, help us with the algorithm. Like, subscribe, share. Without the child tax credit, Stormy Johnson has been skipping her own meals so her kids can eat. Johnson, 45, works as a student support specialist in Preston County schools in Kingwood, West Virginia. Before the monthly enhanced child tax credit payments lapsed in December, she received an additional $500 a month for her two children, Violet, 15, and Tristan, 14, whom she parents alone. That's 3 people in that house that have to eat. There are 2 people in my house that have to eat. Now, we're adults, we're middle-aged, so we're not eating 3 square meals a day, okay? But I told you guys once before, I had my nephew over here staying with us on weekends for a while, and I quickly learned that, where I or my wife can say, you know what, I'm going to go to bed tonight, I'm not going to eat anything, it's cool. You can't do that with kids. Kids eat, they got to eat, they got to eat several meals a day, okay? They want snacks and all that. And they're growing, so, that's to be expected. This lady's got 3 people in her family, 2 of which are children. She's missing $500 that she got from the tax credit. Now, again, a lot of people might say, well, that was temporary money. It was. However, it was money that was coming into her, again, before these food prices went through the roof, before gas prices became $5 per gallon on average for the United States of America, a lot higher in New Jersey and California. Without extra money and increased prices due to inflation, Johnson's budget is stretched thin. Families are struggling. The child tax credit was expanded in 2021 through Biden's America Rescue Plan. The legislation boosted the credit to $3,000 from $2,000 with a $600 bonus for kids under age 6 for the 2021 tax year. All right, so people are cutting their consumption of food. Okay, this is a dangerous situation. We've got 65% of the people changed the types of food they bought. Fewer fruits, vegetables, etc. That's why, guys, I encourage you, please plant a garden. Please get in touch with the community garden so that you can start to replace those valuable fruits and vegetables that you need in your diet, okay? 64% of the people changed brands of food that they purchased, of course. Probably a lot more of the generic brands are being purchased because, and you know what? When I was coming up, we used to get those generic brands. And if you wanna play a little trick on your kids, go ahead and buy 1 box of, the brand name cereal, and then put the Fruity O's. Okay, I think that's the generic Fruit Loops. Put the Fruity O's in the Fruit Loop box. Kids will never know the difference. 45% of people out there surveyed are using the food bank. 45% of people also are parents who are skipping meals. And 9%, the entire family is skipping at least 1 meal. It's a dangerous situation. And let me tell you what, I watched a press conference of some of the swamp creatures over in D.C. from the administration yesterday, and they were saying that they're out of ideas. They came out and said they're out of ideas on how to reduce fuel prices. They're, I could say some things, but I'm trying to watch my language these days and be a better Christian. But they need to open up drilling in this country, put more oil out onto the market, the global market. More supply will reduce price when faced with the global demand. The other thing that the United States, every state in the union and the United States government needs to do tonight is they need to place a moratorium on state gas taxes and the federal gas tax. Now, listen, Biden, and I know you're watching this, even though it's probably close to your bedtime. I just gave you several solutions that you can implement. You know that you can put pressure on, especially the Democrat governors, to put a moratorium on that gas tax for their citizens. Bring some of that money off of that bill so these people can eat, okay? The liberals are supposed to be so compassionate, right? All right, well, people are missing meals, okay? And part and parcel of that is because they cannot afford these high prices. Stop begging Venezuela and the Saudis for oil. Open up the taps here in America, okay? Let us drill so that we can release more oil onto the global market. All right, guys, those are my thoughts. Those are the solutions. Like, subscribe, share. I will talk to you soon.